The vastness of space stretched endlessly before the human warship USS Dauntless. Stars glittered like diamonds on black velvet, and planets drifted silently in their orbits. The ship, sleek and powerful, glided through the darkness, a solitary figure in the emptiness. Its mission was simple: exploration. Humanity had spent centuries reaching beyond its home system, mapping unknown sectors, and now they had entered a region controlled by a civilization far older and more advanced than any human had ever faced. Captain Mara Ellis stood on the bridge, her hands resting lightly on the console before her. She was a woman of calm confidence, her dark hair pulled back tightly, eyes scanning the readings with sharp precision. Her crew worked efficiently around her, adjusting navigation, monitoring sensors, and preparing for whatever the unknown might bring. "Captain," said Lieutenant Ryan Holt, the ship's chief science officer, "our sensors have picked up multiple ships approaching. They're large, unlike anything we've seen in this sector." Ellis leaned forward, her brow furrowing slightly. "How many?" "About 20. Holt replied, his voice steady but cautious. "They're moving fast and are heavily armed. Judging by their energy signatures, they could overwhelm us in minutes if they choose to attack." Mara's lips curved into a small smile. "Then let's make sure they don't choose to attack." The Dauntless was not a warship in the traditional sense. It was equipped for defense, yes, but its real strength lay in human ingenuity and advanced technology. Its shields could withstand hits that would destroy larger alien ships. Its propulsion allowed for maneuvers impossible for slower, heavier vessels, and its AI-assisted targeting system made even the smallest human crew incredibly effective. The humans had learned long ago that their greatest weapon was not sheer size or firepower, but strategy, speed, and cleverness. Far ahead, the approaching ships came into focus on the main view screen. They were elegant, angular, and alien in every way. Smooth, metallic surfaces reflected the faint starlight, and long, glowing energy lines traced along their hulls like veins. Captain Ellis had read about them in Galactic intelligence reports. The Valar. They were one of the most powerful civilizations in the sector, known for their fleets and the precision of their military tactics. "They're scanning us," said Ensign Tall, the communications officer. "Their sensors are strong. They know we're here." "Let them scan," Mara said calmly. "We have nothing to hide, and if they think we're weak, they'll learn quickly that assumption can be dangerous." The Valar ships moved with terrifying synchronicity, circling the Dauntless in formation. On the alien command bridge, Commander Xylox observed the humans' single ship with increasing disbelief. "Sensors confirm," he said to his officers. "Their energy output is far beyond what is expected from a ship of that size." One of his lieutenants, a tall, thin Valar with shimmering green skin, frowned. "Commander, it is only one ship. They are humans. We could destroy it instantly." Xylox's compound eyes narrowed. "Do you not see the readings? Their shields, their propulsion, their energy signatures. Something is different. I want a full scan. Prepare to intercept if necessary, but approach with caution." Back on the Dauntless, Captain Ellis initiated a subtle maneuver. The ship shifted slightly in its orbit, its engines glowing faintly as it adjusted position. "Lieutenant Holt, I want detailed scans of their formation. Let's see how they move." "Every fleet has a pattern." Holt nodded, his fingers dancing over his console. "I'm on it, Captain." As the humans observed, they began to notice something unusual. The Valar ships were incredibly coordinated, but there was a hint of hesitation in their movement. They were studying the Dauntless, trying to understand a technology they had never encountered before. Lieutenant Tal broke the silence. "Captain, they're transmitting a message, but I can't decode it. It's not like any language we've encountered." "Keep trying," Mara said, "but do not respond yet. Let's see what they want." The tension on the bridge was thick. Every crew member knew that a single mistake could trigger a battle they might not survive. But they were trained for this. Humans had faced adversity before, in far less forgiving circumstances, and resilience was their nature. Suddenly, the Dauntless sensors detected a surge in energy from the nearest Valar ship. The alien vessel had activated some form of weapon system, a faint glow building along its hull. Holt's eyes widened. "Captain, they're preparing to fire!" Mara's hand moved to the control panel. "Hold steady. Do not panic. Firepower alone doesn't win battles." Instead of retreating or responding aggressively, she made a calculated decision. "Activate a defensive demonstration," she ordered. "We won't attack, but let's show them that we are not defenseless." The human ship released a controlled pulse of energy from its defensive array. It was precise, contained, enough to illuminate the surrounding area and demonstrate shield strength without causing harm. Across the void, the Valar fleet felt it. Commander Xylox froze, his compound eyes widening. What is this? Their shields, their energy. It is unlike anything in our records." One of his lieutenants gasped. "Commander, our fleet, I feel it. Hesitation. Fear. They are only one ship, but—" Xylox remained silent for a moment, studying the human's actions. He had commanded fleets for decades, and never had he encountered such confidence paired with technological mastery. It unsettled him more than any battle could. Back on the Dauntless, Mara's crew remained calm, observing the alien reactions. "They're stopping," said Tal. They're not attacking. They're frozen." Holt nodded. "Our demonstration worked. They're reassessing us. They don't understand what they're facing." Mara allowed herself a small smile. "Humans have always been underestimated. Let's make sure we live up to that reputation." For the next hour, the Dauntless and the Valar fleet engaged in a silent dance across space. Every movement by the humans was calculated. Every sensor scan analyzed the aliens' pattern. The humans studied weaknesses, not to exploit yet, but to understand. The Valar, in turn, studied the humans, increasingly wary of a species they had dismissed as insignificant. In one quiet moment, Captain Ellis walked along the bridge, observing her crew. "Remember," she said softly, "we're explorers first. We fight only if we must. But intelligence and courage can be stronger than numbers." Lieutenant Holt looked up from his console. "I think they've realized that already." "They've never seen a species combine strategy and adaptability like this." Mara nodded. "Then let's make sure they respect us, not through fear of violence, but through proof of human skill and ingenuity." As the stars shifted outside the viewing port, the humans felt a quiet thrill. They were in uncharted space, facing a civilization that had never encountered humans in their true form. And already the humans were making an impression, not with arrogance or aggression, but with calm confidence and unwavering competence. Commander Xylox on the alien bridge finally spoke, his voice low and uncertain. "Prepare a full assessment. One ship, one human ship, has caused hesitation in our fleet. I want to know everything about it. Their technology, their tactics, everything." The Valar had never hesitated before. Fear, even small, was foreign to their experience. Yet, as they watched the human warship glide effortlessly in space, executing precise movements and demonstrating unexpected power, they realized that these humans were not like any other species they had encountered. And aboard the USS Dauntless, Captain Mara Ellis allowed herself a quiet thought. Humanity had always faced the odds, always adapted, always surprised those who underestimated them. This would be no different. The stars stretched endlessly, full of mystery, and humanity was ready to meet it, not as prey, but as a species to be respected across the galaxy. The USS Dauntless drifted through the silent void, its hull gleaming faintly under the starlight. The Valar fleet remained around them, stationary, as if unsure what to do next. The alien ship's hesitation was unusual, almost unheard of. Commanders like Xylox rarely encountered opponents who caused hesitation in their fleets, but the humans' calm demeanor and precise movements had shaken their confidence. On the Dauntless Bridge, Captain Mara Ellis observed the alien ships with careful eyes. Her crew was tense, yet controlled, aware that any sudden move could spark an unwanted conflict. Humans were explorers, yes, but they were not naive. They had trained for encounters like this. "Captain," said Lieutenant Holt, "I've completed a detailed scan of the Valar ships. Their propulsion is advanced, their shields strong, and their weapons are capable of massive destruction. But there is a weakness in their formation patterns. They rely heavily on coordination. One ship acting unpredictably can disrupt the entire fleet." Mara nodded thoughtfully. "Good. Keep tracking every movement. And Lieutenant Tal, continue trying to decode their transmissions. Even if we don't understand their language fully, we need to know their intentions." Tal's fingers flew across the console. "They're repeating the same signal again and again, Captain. It's like a warning or a demand. But the structure is complex. I've never seen anything like it." "Then let's give them a message of our own," Mara said quietly. She pressed a sequence on her console. The Dauntless sent a simple, non-aggressive signal. "Humanity is unarmed unless attacked. Humans are explorers, and humans respect life." Across the void, Commander Xylox and his council studied the signal. The aliens were confused. They had expected fear, retreat, or aggression from a single human ship. Instead, they received calm, precise, and confident communication. Xylox's compound eyes narrowed. "Prepare a response," he ordered. "But do so carefully. These humans are not ordinary. They think like us, yet they are unpredictable. We must not make mistakes." Meanwhile, the humans continued their subtle maneuvers, scanning the Valar ship's patterns while maintaining a defensive posture. The crew worked silently, each member understanding the importance of patience and precision. Humans had survived countless challenges by using their minds as weapons, not just their ships. An hour passed in tense silence before the unexpected happened. A small Valar vessel, one of the more aggressive scouts, broke formation and charged toward the Dauntless. Its energy weapons flared, signaling an attack. The human crew braced for action. "Captain, they're firing!" Tal shouted. "Hold!" Mara ordered. "We are not the aggressors." Even so, the ship's AI immediately calculated the incoming attack. Shields strengthened at the exact points where the alien weapons would strike. The pulse of energy hit the shields, barely causing a ripple. The Dauntless had absorbed the attack with ease. Holt smiled. "They underestimated our capabilities. Their calculations didn't account for the adaptability of our systems." Mara's eyes remained calm. "This is exactly what we expected. Now we show them the humans' cleverness, not by destruction, but by skill." The Dauntless performed a series of maneuvers that would have been impossible for larger, slower ships. It moved unpredictably, seemingly slipping past the Valar ships while maintaining position in open space. The alien fleet faltered. Each vessel attempted to match the human movements, but their formation broke slightly. Panic rippled among the lower-ranking Valar pilots. Xylox's voice was sharp with authority. "Hold your positions. Do not let a single ship disrupt the fleet. Analyze and adapt." But the human ship was already executing its next move. It fired a controlled energy pulse toward the charging scout. The pulse did not destroy the ship, but disabled its engines temporarily, sending it spinning harmlessly into the void. The other Valar vessels hesitated even more, sensing the humans' precise control over their weapons. On the Dauntless, Lieutenant Tal couldn't hide a small smile. "They're learning fear. Not from anger, but from respect for our skill." Mara nodded. "Good. That is exactly what we want. Let them understand that humans are not easily defeated. that we are more than a number of ships. We are a force of intelligence, courage, and strategy. Meanwhile, Commander Xylox convened a council among the Valar leaders. "This human ship is unique," he admitted. "We have underestimated it. One ship, one species, has caused hesitation in our entire fleet. We must proceed carefully. Aggression may cost us more than we can afford." One of the council members, a young Valar officer named Liara, spoke cautiously. "Commander, they are smaller, weaker individually. But their movements, their technology, it is advanced beyond our understanding. And their confidence, it is not arrogance, it is intelligence. We must consider negotiation, or at least observation, before attacking." Xylox considered this. "Agreed, but we cannot reveal our fear openly. Continue monitoring. Let us see what they do next." Back on the Dauntless, the crew worked in perfect harmony. Every system was monitored. Every calculation checked, every potential threat analyzed. Humans had long relied on their minds to overcome challenges that seemed impossible. Here, against a superior alien fleet, they were doing the same. Then, unexpectedly, the aliens attempted a coordinated maneuver. The fleet tried to encircle the Dauntless, a tactic designed to force the humans into retreat or surrender. The humans anticipated this, adjusting their position while maintaining communication signals of peace. "Captain," said Holt, "they're trying to trap us. But their pattern is predictable. If we move strategically, we can show them that even their numbers cannot corner us." Mara's expression was calm, yet determined. "Do it. Let them see what humanity can achieve with careful planning and courage." The Dauntless executed a brilliant series of moves. It slipped past one group of ships, then rotated along an unexpected axis, avoiding interception. The Valar fleet struggled to adjust. Some ships collided slightly with one another as they attempted to maintain formation. The humans had created confusion without firing a single destructive shot. Xylox was furious, yet he could not ignore the truth. Their unpredictability is remarkable. One ship, using intelligence and skill, has disrupted our fleet. We must reconsider how we view humans. On the human ship, Tal transmitted a final message for this encounter. Humanity seeks peace, yet will defend itself if necessary. It was simple, clear, and assertive. The Valar ships halted. The message had reached the fleet's sensors, and Xylox realized the humans' approach was not arrogance, but calculated confidence. For the first time in his career, he felt hesitation born of respect rather than fear. Holt glanced at Mara. "They're reconsidering. They don't want conflict right now." Mara's voice was steady. "Let's maintain this position. Humans do not strike without cause, but we do not retreat. Let them think. Let them learn." Time passed in silence. The stars moved slowly outside the ship, but tension remained thick. Then a new development occurred. A small Valar ship, clearly a rogue element, fired a single missile at the Dauntless. "Captain!" Tal shouted. "Defensive intercept!" Mara ordered. The human ship's AI locked onto the missile, and a carefully aimed energy pulse neutralized it before it could reach the hull. The missile exploded harmlessly in space. Xylox watched the event in disbelief. They neutralized the attack without retaliation. They are disciplined, strategic, fearless." Another council member, a Valar named Celira, whispered, "They are not like any species we have encountered. One ship, one human ship, and yet our fleet hesitates. They are remarkable." Captain Ellis leaned on her console, her voice calm yet commanding. "Humans have always faced challenges. We adapt, we endure, and we survive through intelligence and courage." That is what the Valar are seeing now. The Valar fleet began to withdraw slightly, not in defeat, but in respectful distance. They had learned an important lesson. Numbers alone cannot intimidate a species that combines courage, intelligence, and ingenuity. "Prepare for communication," Mara said. "If they wish, we will talk. If not, we continue our mission. But remember, humans do not back down lightly." Lieutenant Holt nodded. "Captain, this could be the beginning of something greater. They are observing us, learning, and we are making our first impression, one that they will never forget." As the Dauntless sailed onward, the Valar ships slowly resumed patrol positions, still wary, still respectful. The humans had proven themselves without firing a single destructive shot, showing that strength came not only from weapons, but from strategy, discipline, and courage. And somewhere in the stars, Captain Mara Ellis allowed herself a quiet smile. Humanity had faced a challenge greater than any before, and they had shown that their ingenuity and spirit were unmatched. The Dauntless had not only survived the encounter, but had earned a place of respect in a galaxy that had long underestimated humans. The story of the Dauntless's first encounter with the Valar fleet would be remembered, not as a battle, but as the moment an entire alien civilization first realized the strength of humanity. Humans were small, yes. Their ships were modest, but their courage, intelligence, and adaptability were unmatched. And in the quiet of space, among stars that had seen civilizations rise and fall, humanity had made its mark. The stars stretched endlessly before the USS Dauntless, each one a silent witness to the events unfolding in the void. The human warship glided through space with calm precision, its systems humming in perfect synchronization. Around it, the Valar fleet lingered at a respectful distance, still observing, still wary. They had begun to understand something remarkable. Humans were not a species to underestimate. Captain Mara Ellis stood on the bridge, her eyes on the main viewport. She watched the alien fleet, noting subtle shifts in their formation. Fear had given way to curiosity. The Valar no longer moved with the confidence of certain victory. They moved cautiously, unsure of what the humans might do next. "Captain," said Lieutenant Holt, his voice steady but filled with excitement, "they've begun what appears to be a diplomatic movement. Sensors indicate that one of their ships is approaching us on a slow trajectory, shields active but non-threatening. I think they want to communicate directly." Mara nodded. "Prepare the communication array. Let's see what they have to say. And Lieutenant Tal, keep monitoring every signal. We need to understand as much as possible before responding." The Valar ship, larger and more elaborate than the others, slowly closed the distance. Its energy patterns pulsed gently, a clear signal that it carried no weapons active. Inside, Commander Xylox observed the human ship with a mixture of admiration and caution. "This species," he said to his officers, "is unlike any we have faced. Their warship is small, their numbers limited, yet their skill and control are unmatched. I propose we approach with diplomacy. Let them understand we do not wish to provoke conflict." A young officer, Liara, nodded. "They have proven themselves without firing a single destructive shot. Their intelligence and strategy are remarkable. Perhaps we should learn from them, not fear them." Xylox considered this, and finally nodded. "Prepare a direct communication channel. We will invite their captain to a neutral meeting. Let them see that we respect their abilities and that we are open to dialogue." On the Dauntless, Tal received the transmission. The humans exchanged a glance. "Captain," she said, "they're inviting us to a summit. They want discussion, not conflict." Mara's expression was calm, yet her mind raced. A summit with the Valar could secure not only safety for the humans, but also an opportunity to establish a lasting reputation for humanity. "Except," she said finally, "set coordinates for the neutral planet. Maintain full defensive readiness, but let's approach peacefully." The neutral planet was a quiet, rocky world, with a thin atmosphere and stable orbit around a sun that glimmered faintly. Its surface was barren, but the Valar had cleared a large orbital zone for the meeting. The Dauntless moved steadily, sensors scanning for threats while communication channels remained open. When the humans arrived in orbit, the Valar fleet formed a protective perimeter around the summit zone. One ship, larger and more ornate than the rest, descended slightly and opened a communication channel directly to the Dauntless. "Captain Mara Ellis," said a voice, slightly distorted by translation. "We acknowledge your skill and your restraint. Your species has proven itself in a way no other has. We wish to understand you and to establish peace." Mara nodded. "Commander Xylox, we appreciate your respect. Humanity seeks peace and knowledge, not conflict. But we are prepared to defend ourselves if necessary. Let this meeting be a beginning of understanding between our species." The Valar officer paused, then replied, "We are aware of your capabilities. Your ship, your strategy, and your courage have given us reason to reconsider our approach. You have earned our respect." Inside the Dauntless, the crew shared quiet smiles. Humans had achieved what no one had expected. They had faced a superior fleet and emerged with respect, not through firepower, but through intellect, discipline, and courage. The summit lasted several hours. Humans and Valar shared information about technology, philosophy, and strategy. The humans explained how their ships were designed for adaptability and endurance, how their AI assisted them without replacing human judgment, and how they valued ethical decision-making alongside tactical skill. The Valar were impressed. Commander Xylox listened carefully, asking questions about human adaptability and problem-solving in unexpected situations. The humans explained their approach: intelligence, cooperation, and the ability to think unpredictably. "You are unlike any species I have encountered," Xylox admitted finally. "Your courage, strategy, and control have changed the way we view the galaxy. You do not rely on numbers alone. You rely on intelligence and unity. That is remarkable." Mara inclined her head. "That is the strength of humanity. We have faced many challenges, and we have survived not because we are the largest or the strongest, but because we are clever, resilient, and united." Over the next few hours, the humans demonstrated minor aspects of their ship's technology: defensive maneuvers, energy management, and rapid calculations for tactical scenarios. Nothing was destructive, yet the Valar observed keenly, learning that these humans could handle situations that would have overwhelmed any other species. In one striking demonstration, the humans simulated a scenario in which multiple enemy ships attempted to encircle the Dauntless. Without firing, the human crew moved the ship through precise maneuvers that confused and disoriented the simulated attackers, showing how a single human crew could outthink larger forces. Commander Xylox's eyes glimmered with admiration. "Your species is exceptional. We have underestimated you for centuries. Today, you have changed that perception. You have earned not fear, but respect." Mara allowed herself a small smile. "Respect is earned, Commander, and humanity seeks to build relationships that are mutually beneficial, not ruled by fear." The summit ended with agreements to share certain non-military knowledge and to establish communication channels for future exploration and trade. The Valar acknowledged humanity as a species of strategic importance, capable of influencing galactic affairs through intellect and courage rather than sheer force. As the humans prepared to depart, Mara stood on the bridge, looking at the Valar fleet in orbit. "We came seeking knowledge," she said quietly, "and we leave having earned respect. Humanity has proven itself once again." Lieutenant Holt leaned on the console beside her. "They'll remember this encounter for generations. One ship, a single crew, has shown an entire alien fleet the value of strategy, courage, and unity. Mara nodded. Yes, and we will continue to explore, to learn, and to show the galaxy what humans are capable of. One encounter does not define us, but it sets a precedent. Humanity will always rise to the challenge. As the Dauntless slipped out of orbit, the stars stretching endlessly before it, the crew reflected on the journey. They had faced fear, confrontation, and uncertainty, and they had emerged stronger and wiser. Humans were small in numbers, but their ingenuity, cooperation, and resilience made them formidable. Commander Xylox watched the human ship depart, his fleet behind him. He had commanded fleets for decades, yet never had he encountered a species that combined intelligence, courage, and calm confidence in such a way. "These humans," he said to his council, "are not to be underestimated. Their place in the galaxy is assured, and we must learn from them, not attempt to dominate them." The Valar fleet resumed patrol, but now with a renewed perspective. Humans were not a threat in the conventional sense. They were a species that demanded respect, not for aggression, but for intellect, creativity, and courage. The galaxy had shifted even slightly because of one human warship and one crew willing to face the unknown with skill and confidence. On the Dauntless, Captain Mara Ellis looked at her crew, pride in her eyes. "Today, we've done more than survive. We've made first contact the human way, with intelligence, courage, and integrity. This is only the beginning." The crew smiled, a quiet understanding passing among them. Humanity had always faced odds, and today they had met them in the stars. They had proven that humans were a force to be respected, a species defined by ingenuity, courage, and resilience. As the ship sailed onward into the uncharted darkness, a sense of calm purpose settled over the bridge. The stars awaited humanity's next move, but one thing was certain. Wherever humans went, they would be noticed, and their place among the stars would be remembered. In that moment, the USS Dauntless was more than a ship. It was a symbol of human courage, intelligence, and the unyielding spirit that refused to be underestimated. One human warship had paused an alien fleet, not through fear, but through excellence. And the galaxy would never forget the day the humans showed what they were truly capable of.